Today I'm going to show you a real quick thing about a program called NotebookLM by Google, and it's something you're experimenting on, but you can actually create a notebook and take that notebook and create a podcast out of it with AI. So if you have reading material, you can put it into a notebook, run it through this program. It will create a podcast with two different voices on it discussing the article or whatever you have. It also summarizes the material in your notebook, and it gives you suggested questions and stuff. But I just wanted to show you this feature real quick of how it can create a podcast for you, because this is actually really useful if you have a lot of reading material and you drive to work or whatever, and you're on a commute or you're on a long drive. You can actually get all of the reading material that you want to go over, have it, summarize it, create a podcast out of it, and listen to it as you're driving or any other time when you're doing something else. So really useful application. I'm going to go more into NotebookLM in other videos as I learn some of the other features about it. But this feature is so cool, I decided I should make a video about it. So basically, you go to notebooklm.google.com and you create a notebook. And over here, I've already put one source in it. This is an article I wrote on a blog. And so what you do is we're going to show you how to add sources. When you start the notebook, you get a screen like this. So any file you have, you can drag on here to upload a source. You can go down here to Google Drive and get Google Docs that you've produced. You can go over here, get a link from a website. You can go over here and paste any text and put it in here. And so, as I said, I already have a link that's brought this text in. So you can have a series of things. So say there's a bunch of articles that you want to read, or a website like a Slashdot. You could actually bring in the front page of that each day if you wanted to, and create your own webcast that for yourself. Obviously, you've got to be careful about using copyrighted material on this, obviously, but as a tool for yourself, you can bring anything in and then have it create the podcast, your personal podcast for you. All right, so then I brought this in and it brings up the summary of the notebook, and this will change as you add more and more stuff to it. So this is a very short notebook, obviously, because it's only a page-long article. But it gives you a summary here and questions down here. But up here it says deep dive conversation, 2 hosts, and it only does it in English right now. And you can generate it by clicking on this. Now it'll take a few minutes, depending on how much material you have here. This is pretty short, so it may not take that long. But it will actually create a podcast out of this. All right, so it took it a couple of minutes to create this podcast, but it's really pretty cool. So I'm going to play a small excerpt from it to show you how the two people banter along about this article that I wrote right here. It's pretty impressive, actually, and it sounds like it's a real podcast, and it makes the whole thing more entertaining.
Let me get the full title. Why does rebooting fix so many PC problems? It's on Medium. And good news, it's actually a FUN read. He doesn't get all, tech manual on us.
Yeah, it's true.
So right away, he makes this comparison that really clicked for me. Deadlock in computers, like a traffic jam.
It's the perfect analogy, really, because you've got, instead of cars, you've got all these programs. They all want the same thing, like trying to get through the same intersection.
And, of course, nothing moves.
Exactly. Everything grinds to a halt. Nobody's giving way. You get that dreaded freeze up. And the reboot, hitting that reset button, clears the jam, everyone back to zero, and hopefully
they can all go their separate ways.
Exactly.
But it's not always that everyone's stuck, right? Sometimes it seems like programs are just messy.
Oh, absolutely.
Leaving their digital junk everywhere. Like if I left my shopping cart in the middle of the grocery store aisle, chaos.
And that takes us right to memory leaks, which some programs, they're not good at cleaning up after themselves, like you said.
So memory, like RAM, that's short term for the computer's brain, right?
Exactly.
And these leaks are like, it can't think straight because it's cluttered.
Precisely. It builds up. Less and less RAM is free for everyone else to use, and boom, the computer's slow, things crash.
Spinning beach ball of doom. I've seen that one too many times.
Oh, tell me about it. And that's where, again, that reboot is like hitting the clean slate button.
All right, so that's just an example of the podcast that I've made, but you can see how this could be very useful if you're studying something or you're reading a lot of material for work or whatever, you can gather it in a notebook and get this thing to make an entertaining little podcast out of it and listen to it at your convenience. At any rate, like I said, this is called NotebookLM from google.com, and I'm sure I'll make some more videos about this as I mess with it more and find out its features. Plus, it's experimental right now, so I'm sure they're going to be adding more features to this. But it's really one of the neatest AI apps that I have seen.